Hello and welcome to WKP. Today we're going to be tracking Major Hurricane Ian, a Category 3 hurricane on its way to making landfall in Florida. It will make landfall probably by tomorrow evening. But before we get into the video, check the gospel message in the description because Jesus can save you from hell. Alrighty, let's go. So as you can see, it is a strong looking storm with a nice, well-defined eye. Earlier, this eye was larger than it is now. As you can see, we have a smaller eye, so that leads me to believe that we're going to start seeing this storm intensify as the National Hurricane Center has forecasted. We had a little bit of a lull in its intensification this afternoon, but it had a very large and wide eye as it was coming off of Cuba. Now that it has a smaller eye, I do think it'll probably start to start strengthening again. We have 120 mile an hour winds, 952 millibars, and it's moving at only 9 knots, 10 miles an hour, a very slow moving hurricane. Let's go over these key messages. So, life-threatening storm surge is expected along the Florida west coast, where a storm surge warning is in effect, with the highest risk from Naples to the Sarasota region. Residents in these areas should listen to advice given by local officials and follow any orders to evacuate for your area. Hurricane force winds are expected in the hurricane warning area in the southwest, central Florida beginning Wednesday morning, and tropical storm conditions are expected overnight. Devastating wind damage is expected near the core of Ian. Residents should rush all preparations to completion. Heavy rainfall will spread across the Florida peninsula through Thursday and reach portions of the southeast later this weekend. Catastrophic flooding is expected across portions of central Florida, with considerable flooding in central Florida, northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and coastal South Carolina. Widespread, prolonged, moderate to major river flooding expected across central Florida. Let's go to the cone of uncertainty. As you can see, majorly huge wind field on the storm, so most of the Florida peninsula will be feeling some effects. You can see a large hurricane warning is in effect. We're going to expect this storm to make landfall sometime in the evening Wednesday. As you can see, this little section right here, as it has moved on land as of this forecast, is around 8 p.m. Wednesday, when it's showing that it's already on land as a major hurricane. We're expecting Category 4 on landfall. Though there is wind shear in the area, it does not seem that it is weakening the storm at all. Let's take a look at the peak surge. 8 to 12 feet for Charlotte Harbor, down near Chokoloskee. I am so sorry for mispronouncing that. Around 6 to 10 feet, getting really high surge. I mean, even 3 to 5 feet and 1 to 3 feet, all the way up near Indian Pass. We have Key West also getting some of that storm surge. Even on the Atlantic side of Florida, we're getting that storm surge, with some areas in Georgia getting up to 4 to 6 feet. So expect some high storm surge. Let's take a look at the storm surge inundation, which is really important. You can see an area where landfall is going to occur, that this storm surge will inundate well inland. Now, if you live in these areas, not only will you expect strong winds, you also expect a storm surge. You need to evacuate now. As you can see, this is a picture of a gas station being refilled because it ran out of gas. This is something that's actually going on. Gas stations are running out of gas. So if you need to get gas to evacuate, you can download the Gas Buddy app, which Governor Ron DeSantis recommended. But please get out of there. Flash flooding, as you can see, quite a big swath of a high chance of flash flooding. Wind speed probabilities, quite a bit of Florida is in that 90% chance of tropical storm force wind probability. Let's take a look at the tracks. The tracks have shifted a bit. Because the tracks are shifting, I would expect maybe Naples to be in more of the path of the landfall of the storm, since the track is shifting. But expect anywhere where that hurricane warning is. But I would expect, if you're not in the hurricane warning yet, to be in that maybe by tomorrow morning, since that track is shifting, and it shifted quite a bit than what it was earlier this morning. Most models are not forecasting Category 4, but the National Hurricane Center is, and because of what it's looking like on radar, we can expect strengthening. Thank you for watching, and please get out of there if you're in an evacuation zone. This has been Christian Weather Broadcasting.